Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today we're going to be taking a deep dive into biohybrid robots.
Oh, wow.
Specifically, these crazy biohybrid rays designed with machine learning.
Sounds cool.
It is really cool. And I was reading this scientific article, and I got to tell you, my mind was blown.
Yeah.
We're talking about like tiny swimming robots powered by real muscle tissue
What?
and optimized using AI.
Oh, wow.
It's wild. So our mission today is to kind of break down and unpack how these biohybrid rays are even made.
Okay.
How machine learning helped design them to be like super speedy, and like what this all means for the future of robotics.
Right.
And maybe even like for our understanding of biology itself.
Yeah, that's a really fascinating kind of intersection of all these different disciplines.
Yeah.
We often look to nature for inspiration when we're designing robots.
Right.
But sometimes, as the study shows, we need a little bit of help from AI to kind of bridge that gap
Yeah,
between the natural world and like our engineered creations.
for sure. For sure. Okay, so before we get too far ahead of ourselves, let's break this down a little bit.
Okay.
What exactly do we mean when we even say biohybrid robot?
Right.
I mean, it kind of sounds like something straight out of science fiction.
Yeah, it might sound futuristic, but the concept is actually pretty straightforward.
Okay.
It's essentially a combination of living tissue and synthetic materials.
Right.
So in this case, the researchers created a ray-shaped robot
Okay.
with a flexible skeleton made of PDMS,
PDMS.
which is a silicone-based material.
Okay.
And then they layered a thin film of engineered cardiac muscle tissue on top of that skeleton.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Cardiac muscle tissue.
Uh-huh.
Like what our hearts are made of?
Yeah,
So these little robots are like powered by beating heart cells.
exactly.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
And by controlling the electrical stimulation of that muscle tissue,
Okay.
the researchers can actually make the fins of the ray undulate
Wow.
and propel it through the water.
So they're like swimming around.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Okay, that makes sense. But why rays?
Yeah.
Why not, like, I don't know, choose another animal to model these biohybrid robots after?
Well, remember how we talked about drawing inspiration from nature?
Yeah.
The researchers specifically chose to model their biohybrids after batoids,
Batoid.
which is a group that includes like skates and rays.
Oh, okay.
And these creatures are known for their incredibly efficient swimming.
Right.
Especially those fast-swimming cow-nose rays with their graceful, undulating fins.
I love those guys.
Yeah, they're really cool.
They look so chill, just like gliding through the water.
Yeah. So the researchers were really hoping to mimic that efficiency
Okay.
in their biohybrid creations.
That's really interesting. So they basically just like tried to copy the design of real rays to make their robots swim better?
In a way, yes, but there's a catch.
Oh,
You see, simply copying nature doesn't always work,
okay.
especially when you're working at different scales.
Different scales, what do you mean?
It comes down to this concept of natural locomotive scaling laws.
Okay.
These laws essentially describe the relationship between an organism's size, its movement, and its swimming speed.
Gotcha.
So what works for a large ray gliding through the ocean
Right.
might not be as effective for a tiny millimeter-scale robot
Okay.
trying to navigate a petri dish.
So just like shrinking down a ray's fin design wouldn't necessarily make a good biohybrid swimmer.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's where the machine learning comes in, right?
You got it.
This whole ML-directed optimization thing they were talking about in the article.
Yeah, this is where things get really exciting.
Okay.
The researchers realized they needed a more sophisticated approach
Okay.
to optimize the fin design for these tiny robots.
Right.
And they turned to machine learning,
Okay.
specifically an algorithm called a genetic algorithm.
A genetic algorithm. Okay, that sounds kind of intense.
Yeah.
How does that even work?
It's a pretty clever concept, actually.
Okay.
Think of it this way. The genetic algorithm starts by creating a vast library of potential fin shapes.
Okay.
Each one is slightly different from the others.
Right.
It's like having thousands of different blueprints for ray fins, all with unique variations.
Wow, that's a lot of fins.
Yeah.
But how do they know which ones are good?
Well, that's where the optimization part comes in.
Okay.
They use a technique called computational fluid dynamics
Mm-hmm.
to simulate how each of those fin designs would perform in the waters.
Gotcha.
Essentially, they're creating virtual versions of these biohybrid rays
Oh, cool.
and testing how well they swim.
So they're like virtually testing thousands of fin designs
Yeah.
without actually having to build them all.
Exactly.
That's pretty smart.
It saved a lot of time and effort.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And then what?
And here's the key. They take all the data from these simulations,
Okay.
information about how each fin shape affects swimming speed, efficiency, and so on,
Right.
and they feed it into a neural network.
A neural network, like a brain for the computer.
You could think of it that way.
Okay.
The neural network is a type of artificial intelligence.
Okay.
that learns from the data it's given.
Right.
So in this case, it's learning the complex relationship between the shape of the fin and how well the virtual ray swims.
Oh, that's interesting. So the AI is like an apprentice learning from all these virtual experiments.
Yeah.
What happens next?
Well, as the neural network learns, it actually starts to make suggestions for new fin designs to test.
Oh,
It's
wow.
like it's saying, hey, I think if we tweak this part of the fin a little bit, it
Right.
might swim even faster.
So it's not just passively observing, it's like actively participating in the design process.
Exactly.
That's fascinating.
And this process, the simulating the learning, is suggesting it repeats over and over again.
Okay.
Each iteration refines the designs,
Right.
getting closer and closer to that optimal fin shape for fast and efficient swimming.
Okay.
They call this whole process ML-directed optimization,
Right. MLDO.
or MLDO for short.
Gotcha. Okay, so they've got this AI-powered design process,
Yeah.
but did it actually work?
Right.
Did the machine learning actually help them create, like, better biohybrid rays?
Well,
What did they find?
that's what we'll dive into next.
Okay.
The results of this study are pretty remarkable.
Okay.
And they really highlight the power of this MLD approach.
All right, you've got me hooked. Let's get into those results.
The results were pretty astounding.
Really?
The MLDO method successfully identified fin shapes that significantly boosted the swimming speed and efficiency of the biohybrid rays.
So it actually worked. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's really cool.
But, like, how much better did these AI-designed rays perform?
Right.
Did they just, like, eke out a tiny improvement, or are we talking like a major leap forward?
It was a considerable improvement.
Okay.
In fact, the MLDO method even outperformed other optimization techniques they tested,
Oh, wow.
like Bayesian optimization.
Okay, so this is more than just a minor tweak.
Right.
The AI is really bringing something new to the table.
Yeah.
That's really cool. But tell me, how do they even measure the success of these designs? I mean, speed seems straightforward enough.
Yeah.
But how do you quantify something like efficiency when you're talking about, like, a tiny robot powered by heart cells?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
To measure efficiency, they looked at something called swimming efficiency,
Okay.
which is a metric based on those natural locomotive scaling laws we discussed earlier.
Right, right.
It basically quantifies how effectively the ray converts its muscle power into forward motion.
So, like, a higher swimming efficiency score means it's getting more movement out of the same amount of effort?
Precisely.
So it's not wasting energy?
Yeah, and get this. The ML-DO-designed ray
Okay.
achieved a swimming efficiency of about 85%.
85%.
Almost as good as a naturally occurring swimmer.
Whoa, that's incredible.
Yeah.
So this little AI-designed robot is almost as efficient as fish that have been honed by millions of years of evolution.
It really is remarkable.
That's mind-blowing. How did it compare to, like, earlier biohybrid designs?
It blew them out of the water, so to speak. Previous biohybrid rays in fish only reached about 34% and 46% efficiency, respectively.
Wow.
So the machine learning approach led to a massive jump in performance.
That's a huge difference.
Yeah.
I'm starting to see why you were so excited about this study.
It's really groundbreaking work.
Yeah, but beyond just building a faster, more efficient robot, what does it all mean for science?
Right.
It seems like there's something deeper going on here.
Absolutely. If machine learning can help us design better biohybrid robots,
Right?
imagine what it could do for our understanding of biology itself.
Yeah.
Evolution has spent millions of years optimizing biological designs for survival and performance.
Right.
And by studying those designs and using machine learning to explore new possibilities,
Mm-hmm.
we can unlock secrets about how nature solves these complex problems.
It's like using AI to unlock the secrets of life itself.
Yeah, it's a powerful tool.
That's so cool. I remember reading in the article that they were able to, like, visualize the flow of water
Oh, yeah.
around the fins of these rays.
Mm-hmm.
Did those visualizations reveal anything interesting about how the AI-designed fins work?
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
The visualizations were fascinating. They found that the most efficient fin designs, those identified by the AI,
Okay.
exhibited smoother, more streamlined water flow.
Gotcha.
Compared to the less efficient designs,
Right.
the water flowed around the fins with less turbulence,
Okay.
minimizing energy loss and maximizing thrust.
So the AI isn't just randomly spitting out designs.
No.
It's actually learning principles of fluid dynamics
Right.
that engineers and biologists have been studying for centuries.
Exactly. It's really remarkable.
That's so cool. But what about, like, those specific design elements?
Mhm.
Did the AI come up with any, like, unique shapes or features that really stood out?
There were a couple of key features that the AI consistently favored.
Okay.
One was a high aspect ratio,
Okay.
meaning fins that were longer and narrower.
Oh, okay.
Think about those sleek, high-speed rays you see gliding through the ocean.
Right?
Many of them have that same kind of fin shape,
Makes sense. Longer, narrower fins creating less drag and more lift.
Exactly.
Same principle that makes airplanes fly.
Yeah, it's all about fluid dynamics.
Right. Did the AI come up with anything totally new?
Mm-hmm.
Or were all the designs based on things that already exist in nature?
Well, most designs had elements seen in nature.
Okay.
The AI did explore some unique combinations,
Okay.
pushing the boundaries of conventional bio-inspired design.
Oh, cool.
Remember how we talked about the genetic algorithm creating this huge library of potential fin shapes?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, some of those shapes were unlike anything you'd see in a biology textbook.
So the AI is not just mimicking nature, it's also innovating,
Yeah.
coming up with its own solutions.
It's really exciting to see.
That's incredible. But did any of those unconventional designs actually, turn out to be successful?
Actually, yes.
Really?
One of the top performing designs was a fin shape described by this sDNA sequence, JLJA.
JLJA. What is sDNA?
So this DNA is essentially a code that describes the specific combination of curves leads to create that fin shape.
Okay.
These curves, called Bezier curves, are commonly used in computer graphics and design
Gotcha.
to create these smooth flowing lines.
Okay, so sDNA is like a set of instructions
Yeah.
for building a specific fin shape, and Bezier curves are like the building blocks of that shape.
Exactly.
Okay, but what was so special about JLJA?
Right.
What made it stand out from the, thousands of other designs?
Well, when they visualized JLJA, they found that it had this long, narrow shape
Okay.
with a finely papered tip,
Right.
classic features of a high aspect ratio design.
Right.
It was almost like the AI had taken all the best elements it had learned from the simulations
Yeah.
and combined them into this one ultimate biohybrid ray fin.
It sounds like the AI is starting to think like a real engineer.
I know, it's pretty amazing.
Did they actually build and test this JLJA array in the real world?
They did, and the real-world results matched the predictions from the simulations.
Oh, wow.
JLJ was significantly faster than the other designs they tested,
How fast are we talking?
reaching speeds of up to 1.1 millimeters per second.
1.1 millimeters per second.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound very fast.
It might not sound like much, but remember, we're talking about a robot that's only a few millimeters long.
True.
Proportionally speaking, that speed is actually quite impressive.
Okay, that makes more sense. Still, it makes you wonder
Yeah,
if they can achieve these kinds of results with such a tiny robot,
right,
what could they do with, a larger one?
right.
Could we one day see these biohybrid rays swimming alongside real fish in the ocean?
That's an exciting thought.
Yeah.
And it's certainly within the realm of possibility.
Wow.
But beyond simply building bigger and faster robots,
Right.
there's this whole other layer of scientific discovery that this research opens up.
What do you mean?
Well, think about it. If machine learning can help us understand how to optimize the movement of a biohybrid ray, what other biological mysteries could it unlock? Could we use this technology to study the human heart
Wow.
or the mechanics of bird flight?
That would be amazing.
The potential applications are vast.
Okay, now you're really getting me thinking.
Uh-huh.
So it's not just about building cool robots.
Right.
It's about using those robots as tools to understand the fundamental principles of life itself.
Exactly. And that's what makes this research so groundbreaking.
Yeah.
It's blurring the lines between engineering biology and artificial intelligence,
Right.
opening up entirely new avenues for scientific exploration.
This is amazing stuff. But before we get too carried away with all the possibilities,
Yeah.
let's shift gears a little bit.
Okay.
I know you mentioned earlier that there were some ethical considerations to think about when it comes to biohybrids.
Right.
Can you elaborate on that a bit? It's definitely a little freaky to think about.
Yeah.
Robots with living tissue.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder, where's the line between machine and organism?
You've hit on a really important point.
Yeah.
As we continue to develop these sophisticated biohybrids,
Right.
we need to carefully consider the ethical implications.
Yeah.
What does it mean to create machines that incorporate living tissue?
Right.
How do we ensure they're treated humanely?
Yeah.
These are questions we need to grapple with as a society.
For sure. For sure. For now, let's take a moment to kind of recap everything we've learned
Okay.
about these incredible biohybrid rays.
So we started by exploring the concept of biohybrid robots.
Right.
These fascinating combinations of living tissue and synthetic materials.
Yeah, and in this case,
The researchers built tiny ray-shaped robots powered by real beating heart cells.
yeah, it's wild.
Can you believe that?
It's pretty crazy.
Actual heart cells propelling these little swimmers.
It's truly remarkable. And we talked about how designing these biohybrids,
Right.
especially at such a small scale, presents unique challenges.
Yeah.
Simply copying nature doesn't always work when you're trying to build something so tiny.
Right. And that's where the power of machine learning comes in.
Yeah.
The researchers use this incredible AI-driven process called ML-directed optimization.
Right, MLDO.
Or MLDO for short.
Right, to find the most efficient fin designs for these biohybrid rays.
Exactly.
And the results were astounding.
They were really impressive.
The AI-designed rays were not only faster, but they were also nearly as efficient as their natural counterparts,
Yeah.
outperforming previous biohybrid designs by a huge margin.
And it's not just about the numbers.
Right.
What's really exciting is that the AI seem to be uncovering these fundamental principles of fluid dynamics,
Yeah,
learning how to optimize the flow of water around the fins
right.
to maximize efficiency. It's almost like the AI was thinking like a biologist or an engineer.
It makes you wonder if machine learning can do that with a biohybrid ray, what else is it capable of?
The possibilities are truly mind-boggling.
Yeah.
We could potentially use this technology to design more efficient artificial organs,
Wow.
to study the mechanics of animal movement in unprecedented detail,
Right.
or even to create entirely new forms of life.
Whoa, now that's getting a little sci-fi.
I know, it's pretty wild.
It's a bit daunting to think about, isn't it?
It is daunting.
We're on the cusp of some pretty incredible breakthroughs.
It's also incredibly exciting.
Yeah.
This research shows us that we're no longer limited by the constraints of traditional engineering,
Right.
or even by the blueprints of nature itself.
Wow.
With the help of AI, we can explore this vast universe of possibilities,
Yeah.
pushing the boundaries of what's possible in both biology and robotics.
Well, this deep dive has definitely left me with a lot to ponder.
Me too.
Biohybrid robots,
Yeah.
AI-driven design,
Uh-huh.
the ethical considerations.
There's
It's a lot to take in, but it's also incredibly inspiring.
I agree. It makes you realize that we're living in an age of unprecedented scientific discovery.
Yeah.
Who knows what amazing breakthroughs await us just around the corner?
Well, on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive
Okay.
into the fascinating world of biohybrid rays and AI-driven design.
Right.
It's been an incredible journey.
It really has.
And I hope you enjoyed it as much as I have.
I have.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep asking questions.